We are Tapestry, and we are presenting the final video in our 5-part series on John Gottman's 7 Principles to Making Marriage Work. My name is Daniel Peaks, and I am your speaker. This is part 5, where we will be talking about shared meaning. What is shared meaning? It's basically the culture of your family or relationship. You are defining things, how you want them to be in your relationship. It's kind of a spiritual component to relationships. It doesn't have to be any particular religion, but there's definitely a spiritual aspect here to relationships. Because once you got the job and the daily chores and all that kind of stuff figured out, there's not a whole lot left unless you talk about meaning and actively engage in shaping meaning for you and your family. Now, there are 4 aspects to creating meaning together. They are rituals, roles, goals, and symbols. What we're going to do is go through each of these aspects with some sample questions provided to you from Gottman's book. The ones I've provided are by no means all of them, but just give you a taste of the types of things that you and your spouse or significant other need to go through if you want to improve the meaning in your life together. The first one are shared rituals. Rituals are things we do together as a family or as a couple. It could be, do we go to church together on Sunday? If so, which church do we go to? A biggie is holidays. How are we going to spend the holidays together? Whose house are we going to go to for Thanksgiving or Christmas? How are we going to celebrate these holidays? These are really important questions. Oftentimes, you'll have 2 individuals with 2 vastly different backgrounds getting married and having no idea how to solve a lot of these questions or how to answer them. Oftentimes it takes great compromise. But here are some sample questions on rituals. How do we or should we eat together at dinner? What is the meaning of dinner time? What was dinner time like in each of our families growing up? Pick a meaningful holiday. What is the true meaning of this holiday to us? Now, the important word here is us, not me. Of course, when answering that question, you'll need to know how each of you feel about each of these holidays or each of these questions, but you'll need to create for yourselves the true meaning for the both of you. Roles. Roles are negotiated throughout a relationship. They don't always stay the same because life situations change. Thus, every now and again, roles, gender roles, the marital roles will need to be negotiated. The roles we experienced in childhood play a major factor in how we feel about these various roles, particularly between husband and wife, mother or father. But here are some of the sample questions on shared roles. How do you feel about your role as a husband or wife? What does this role mean to you in your life? How did your father or mother view this role? How are you similar and different? How would you like to change this role? How do you feel about your role as a father or mother? Shared goals. Goals are very important, like dreams. They need to be expressed, but they also need to be heard and validated. That doesn't mean you have to agree with all of them, but hearing them out is really important for the other person in the relationship. Here are some of the sample questions. What goals do you have in life for yourself, for your spouse, for your children? What do you want to accomplish in the next 5 or to 10 years? What is one life dream that you want to fulfill before you die? What are the truly important things in your life that are great sources of energy and pleasure that you really need to block out time for? The important things that keep getting postponed or crowded out. Lastly, we'll talk about shared symbols. Here are some of the sample questions. What symbols, such as photos or objects, show who our family is in the world and what we value about being thus and so? What does a home mean to you? What qualities must it have for you? What was a home like in your families growing up? That's a really important question because how you grew up, what home was like when you were growing up, is really important to your current home now with your significant other. Lastly, what are some stories about your family that go way back in history? Stories you are proud of and want to be part of the tradition your family continues. What does your name mean? I think that's a really important question, particularly for your kids, because it really helps your kids create their own identity by knowing what their family's all about. And as parents, as a couple, you have that job to cultivate that identity in your children. In conclusion, we just discussed briefly shared meaning and the 4 aspects of shared meaning: rituals, roles, goals, and symbols. This concludes our 5-part series. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos. Again, we are Tapestry. We are located in Marietta, Georgia, and I am Daniel Peaks. Thank you.